So let me start by saying I don't watch a ton of TV as is, and when I do, it's usually HGTV, the Food Network, or ESPN. Yes, that's right, ESPN.
Unlike most cheerleaders, I follow the sports that I cheer for, and that's why I read ESPN, the magazine.
Now, on occasion, I do watch other shows. In this case, NBC has a show called The Biggest Loser. And before your trigger fingers get happy and scour the comment section to see if you can be the first person to write Brandon's the biggest loser and get all kinds of thumbs up, let me assure you it's probably already been done. Now, that being said, this show's been on NBC since 2004, so 12 years. And in those 12 years, through the magic of TV, they've made 17 seasons worth. And I can literally say I've seen every single episode of every single season. Yet, despite that fact, I don't know if I can actually say that I like the show, because it has some pretty glaring weaknesses that I want to talk about in this video. Now, for those of you who haven't seen it, the basic premise is your typical reality type show. They get a large group of people, in this case 20 to 25, but large also meaning extremely obese and even more obese it seems as the season goes on. And they compete and do different challenges, and each week someone's voted off. Till you get to the end, there's only a few people left. And in the case of this show, whoever's lost the highest percentage of weight since the beginning is deemed the biggest loser and gets a nice amount of money. Now, I wanted to say fat cash, but I really got to be careful with the fat jokes on this particular video because there's the potential for quite a few. I don't want to be labeled a fat shamer. But that being said, again, I've been watching this show for quite a while, but there's three main points I want to talk about today. The first of which is the fact that they really position themselves as a health and fitness type show. You know, they want to get these people healthy, live better lifestyles, and that's great, but they gloss over one of the biggest parts of that, and that is the diet portion of it. Now, if you've seen this show, you know it's very exercise oriented. They have trainers come and train these people all the time. They do all these weird challenges that I probably couldn't do myself, whether it be physical feats of running a half marathon or a marathon. At least is my current point. I'm not about that life. But that's cool to focus on that, but they completely gloss over the nutrition portion of it. And it's interesting because these shows, which by the way are 2 hours long, have weigh-ins at the end where you'll have a 400-pound individual only losing 2 or 3 pounds. Despite the fact they show them exercising very hard, show how much effort they're putting in, and just say, you know, something's not right here. But they don't ever show you how much that person is taking in. So it really makes me wonder from a standpoint of, are they eating too much? Or are they not eating enough and have metabolic damage? As my friend Lane Norton might point out,
will you sacrifice to win?
It's really tough to tell. So for the educated person, which I sometimes consider myself to be, it really just is a head scratcher. You can't figure out what's going on here. And I really wish they showed that part of it. Now, I say that only because, again, the show's 2 hours. There's a lot of fluff. They could spend a lot of time showing you exactly what they're eating or how they're eating it, but instead they choose to just use a lot of commercial breaks and rehash a lot of the stuff they've already shown. Similar to another one of my favorite shows, Dragon Ball Z.
Next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Maybe there's a theme here. So that's the big thing that I don't like. Now, some might say they do show meals on occasion, and that kind of leads me to my second point here. The other thing that really annoys me with this show is the fact that the advertisements that they show are really over the top and obvious. And I know what you're probably thinking, but Brandon, aren't you the one who tells me about the NASM, the National Academy of Sports Medicine, and their 2-week free trial of their services if they go to myusatrainer.com/cablefitness, which is always found in the description box when I mention that? Well, yes, you're right with that. I do mention it, and I do understand the point of having sponsors and taking money into the channel, but the problem is with this particular show is they only show that kind of stuff when they're getting paid for it, particularly with Subway.
Got your lunch.
What are you eating there?
Turkey, veggies.
Very good choice. This is what I've been trying to tell you guys. Even if you can't cook or you're going out, you can always go to Subway. The excuse this week is that there's no time to eat right. Well, Subway is the perfect solution.
There'll be times when all of a sudden out of the blue, they'll say, hey, you know what? Subway's a great option. Let's all go to Subway. And they'll show the trainer or the trainees really over the top, hyping up Subway, which I don't really like how they go about it. Just too obvious. So yes, you can have advertisements. Obviously, I have them in my channel and I know how you guys feel when you see them. Hopefully mine aren't that obvious, but I just don't like the way they go about it. The last thing I really don't like about the show is, again, the way they go about things. So they take these people who are living very unhealthy lifestyles, they pick them up out of that environment, and they put them in a completely different environment where everything's controlled. meaning they don't have to worry about work, they don't have to worry about their family, they don't have to worry about their food choices. They have all of that done for them. They have full-time trainers on hand, and their only responsibility is to train and lose weight. So it's a very easy environment for that to be conducive for weight loss. The problem is when it's done or when they get voted off, they're sent back home, they fail. They almost always gain weight back. In fact, it's been in the media quite a bit recently about how all these Biggest Loser winners have gained all the weight back. And it's really because they don't teach these people how to be successful in their normal lives. It's not realistic to not have to work, to not have to deal with your family, prepare food, all these other things. So there is another show out there that I really do like called Extreme Weight Loss, and they do things a bit differently because they do a lot of it at home. I really think Biggest Loser could take a cue from that and try to do more stuff at home to make it a better show. So when it's all said and done, I'm still gonna watch this show. I've been watching it for 12 years. I do like it a lot, but if they could fix those 3 things I mentioned, I think I'd enjoy the show a lot better and put it as one of my favorites. Let me know what you think about the show below if you've seen it. In the meantime, as always, thanks for watching and stay big.